what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Shannon. I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe button, ringing the notification bell so I can see you here next time. And if you're stopping back by, appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. And so today is gonna be a fun video. I've seen this one floating around quite a bit and I like it. I like to see what people essentially can't live without. So this is if your makeup collection disappeared. I don't want to wish any bad juju on myself, so I'm not going to say like what happened to my makeup. I'm just going to say my makeup disappeared. What items would I have to repurchase immediately? So I'm going to go in the order of which I would apply my makeup. I think that's just kind of, I don't know, that way we don't miss anything. And I'd be curious to see what you guys can't live without. So when this is all said and done, make sure you comment and let me know what is the product that you couldn't live without. All right, so let's dive right in, you guys. The first thing would be obviously an eyeshadow primer. So this one from Ulta Beauty, I love. It's affordable, so if you're repurchasing your entire makeup collection, I try to do like a little bit of a mixture between high-end and drugstore, and I love this primer from Ulta Beauty. If you've never tried this out, give it a go, you guys. It's a nude primer, and it kind of reminds me of like maybe the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. So it's got some tint to it. It blends out beautifully. It holds my makeup beautifully throughout the day, or my shadow, and I just love this. Love it. It's affordable. Ulta always has sales on their products, so this is awesome. Definitely recommend that. And then, of course, to set it, I couldn't live without my Brulee shadow from Wet n Wild, my single shadow in Brulee. I've already hit pan on this. This is the new formula. I got this when I picked up the new palettes from Wet n Wild, so that's how much I love this, you guys. I pretty much use it every single day. It's 99 cents. Gotta have it. And then for my eyeshadow palette, you guys, I had to go with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Listen, you know, however you feel about Jaclyn is however you feel. I used to love her channel, honestly, and I've kind of, I don't want to say I don't watch her anymore, but I don't jump to her videos anymore. But her palette is incredible. So I got this during the second launch. I literally waited until I think it was 11 o'clock. The second this came available, like I was already on the site. It took me forever to check out. I remember the frenzy over this palette. So I have the old packaging that's not glossy. It doesn't have the shade names, but everything you need in this palette. These shadows are incredible. I mean, I've tried other Morphe 35 pan shadows and they're just not as good as this formula. She made it extra special. It's just one of my favorite palettes. It has everything I need in it and it's just beautiful. Very pigmented, very, very blendable, everything you would want in a palette. And I think it's like $38, and then of course you can use your coupons, so that's just my jam. All right, so for brows, I chose the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. This is one of my absolute favorites. I have a few from the drugstore that I love, but this is probably the one I've repurchased the most. So here he is, totally about empty. I carry this one in my makeup bag and that's all I have left of it. So I would say this is my fourth or fifth one that I've burnt through. And then for brow tint, to set them in place, I gotta have a brow tint. Of course, my Ulta Beauty brow tint. It's just my favorite. It just does a wonderful job at, you know, really locking my brows into place and tinting them. It just makes my brows look fluffy. These together are perfection. All right, so for liquid liner, I chose my Mega Liner from Wet n Wild. It's just my favorite liner. I have tried so many eyeliners, you guys, so many liquid liners, and this is just the one that I keep coming back to. I always have a backup of this in my drawer. I've gone through probably 4 or 5 of these. It's just my jam. It's just easy to work with. I love the felt tip. I know there used to be a brush tip and then they changed it to the felt tip. I just prefer a felt tip, so this works for me. It's super cheap. I think it's like $2.99, and it's just holy grail. Liner for my lower lash line, the Marc Jacobs Highliner in the shade Rococo. This is just everything. I'm out of it. You'll see it in an empties video because there's not a smidge left of this. I need to get a new one. It does stink that these are 25 bucks, you guys, but nothing stays in my waterline like the Marc Jacobs liners. They're just awesome. I hate that I love them so much because they are spendy for a liner, but they are worth every penny. Okay, for foundation, actually no, for primer, I chose my NYX Pore Filler. This is my third one of these, I believe, second or third. I talked about it in my primer, best of primers video, because this is just everything. I love the way that this smooths out my face. It keeps the makeup on my face all day long, and it's $9.99. So, I mean, I've tried the Benefit Professional. I've tried a lot of pore filling primers, you guys, and this one is just, it's the one that I always come back to, and it's the one that when I shop my stash, really look forward to using. So for foundation, I chose my Estee Lauder Double Wear. Again, I talked about this in my top foundations in my collection. This was number one because it just is. It just wears incredibly throughout the day. I never worry about this disappearing on my face. I use this on clients. I use this on brides, prom. To me, this is just the most universal foundation. It just seems to work for everyone. If you find this to be a little too heavy, I recommend just using a super hydrating primer or possibly the Smashbox primer oil underneath it, or just add a drop of beauty oil to your pump, mix it together, and it will sit beautifully. This just is everything. I couldn't be without this foundation. Concealer, Naked Skin, Urban Decay. I'm sure you guys saw that coming if you've been watching my videos. I talked about this in my top concealer video. It's just my number one. It's my holy grail, and I know it's spendy, but it's worth every single penny, and I could not be without this. I always have backups on hand because it's just like, I can't not have that. For powder, you might see this one coming too. I talked about this in my top powder video. It's my Derma Blend. This is just my holy grail powder. I use this every single day regardless of what's in my current Shop My Stash. This is just one of those products that never leaves my weekly stash. It's just always in there. I use this to set my nose in place because this is really the only powder that keeps foundation on my nose in the dead of summer here in Florida. This is, I don't know what's in this powder. I have a backup currently because I can't be without it. All right, so for contour, I chose my NYX HD in Taupe. This is actually a blush. I talked about it in my top contour video. This is my number one. It's just the perfect shade. It creates the perfect shadow. I do have to go in with a light hand because this is very, very pigmented. It's a little bit powdery, but it just looks beautiful on my skin, and I also have a backup of this. That's kind of how I decided what products I was going to choose, was basically how many times have I purchased it and do I have a backup, and that's pretty much what, you know, made me choose these products. All right, so for bronzer, my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Again, this never leaves my stash. It's just in there from week to week. This is such a beautiful formula. It's so creamy, so soft. It goes on so beautifully, and it doesn't matter how fair I am. This sits beautifully on my skin. The shade is never too orange. It's never too deep. And in the summer months when it's a little too light for me, I basically use this as sort of like, kind of like a powder to kind of like blend my blush, my highlight. It just softens my look and makes everything seamless. And so that is basically what I will use it for in the summer when it's too light to be my actual bronzer. And in the winter, this is my perfect bronzer. So also the smell, you guys, I mean, you already know. Okay, for highlight, I chose my Anastasia Glow Kit in Sugar. I chose this because I think for what you get, even though it's 40 bucks, for what you get for $40, it's an extremely wonderful value. You get 4 humongous pans. I can use every single shade in here, and they're beautiful. They go on wet, metallic. They you guys, if you have this palette, you already know. It's just, look at those. Look at those highlights. I love that this one is like a duochrome. It's got this super cool shift to it. And marshmallow, you guys, like, it's just such a gorgeous palette. I believe it's still available. I think this was limited edition for holiday 2017. But if you can still get your hands on this, I highly recommend picking this up before it goes away. It's just such a beautiful palette. And again, you can remove those pans, put it into like a Z palette if you're traveling. It's just such an awesome palette. I'm done talking about it. Obviously, I'm pretty passionate about that. Okay, for setting spray, actually, no, sorry, blush. Ooh, I missed my under eye corrector too. All right, for blush, I chose my Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten and Peach Delight. You guys, this was my first Laura Geller blush purchase, and I now have 5 of them because this is what started my Laura Geller blush craze. As you can see, the lid is broken off. I have beat this blush to death. It's a baked formula, so they last forever. I'll probably never run out of this. Even if I used it every day, I don't know if I would ever run out. But what I love is it looks super intense in the pan, but it's actually so beautiful on the cheeks. It's not super intense when you apply it. It's got that beautiful sheen, and it just makes your skin look so dewy and healthy with like a perfect natural flush. I mean, this is just my favorite blush. It just is. It's stunning. And in the summertime when you have a tan, oh girl, it's so good. So this is everything. Favorite. For my under eye corrector, which I forgot, it's the Becca under eye corrector. You guys, I've had this little sample size forever, it seems like. And excuse me, I haven't even hit pan. Like, I'm not even, I mean, I've been trying to work in just the center, and I'm not even close to hitting the bottom of the jar. It's just the best corrector I have ever tried in my life. And trust me, you guys, I've tried so many. It's super emollient, so you need the slightest little bit. And basically, I just tap it in with my finger, and it just brightens everything. When I do not have this in my Shop My Stash and I'm using a different corrector, I miss this. I genuinely miss this product. It also helps hydrate my under eyes before going in with concealer because it is such an emollient product. They now have a shade for medium to deep complexions, which is wonderful. And if you've never tried this out, you guys, and you have dark circles, or if you're just looking to brighten your under eyes in general, go pick it up. It's $32 for the full size. Share it with a friend because you'll never get through this. It is... there's so much in there. All right, for setting spray, Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the old packaging. I bought this when it went on sale when they came out with their new packaging. I have a backup in my drawer. This is just the one that when I know I have to wear my makeup all day long from sunup to sundown and I need it to look in place and fresh by 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, this is the one that I reach for. It is spendy for what it is, but nothing compares to this setting spray. Nothing. I did an Urban Decay event. I had the opportunity to work with some awesome Urban Decay artists, and we did this experiment where we took a palette. It was the Urban Decay Flushed palette, actually, and we swiped it on one arm, and then we took the other side, did the same thing to the other side. We sprayed one side with Urban Decay All Nighter, and we left the other side with nothing, and by the end of the night, you guys, the side without the all-nighter had my jacket covered in product. Like, I looked like a hot mess on the side that didn't have the all-nighter. And this side with the all-nighter the swatch was perfectly intact. Now, I had already purchased all-nighter before that experiment, but that was the moment that I realized how legit this setting spray is. So if you're oily, if your makeup disappears throughout the day, check this out. You are gonna love it. So that's that. And then for mascaras, I chose this guy here from Wet n Wild. This is the Skinny Mascara in Waterproof. This has been the only mascara that's kept the mascara on my lashes and not all up in here. I struggled for the longest time to find a mascara that never transfers. This never transfers. It's affordable. I think it's $4. The wand is super duper skinny, you guys, so it makes it really easy to just get in there and coat those little lashes, and it's super black, super pigmented, wears for hours. I never have an issue with this smudging. Highly recommend, you guys, highly. And then for my regular mascara, I chose the Essence Lash Princess. It is so good. I bought the 3-pack during the holidays that they had. It was like a little gift set for $10, and I'm still working on this one. I have yet to try the other two, but I love this one, you guys. The wand, it's a natural bristled wand, nice and straight, easy to get right up in those lashes, and I think this is volumizing, lengthening for $5. I think this is $5. It's either $4 or $5. It's just such an incredible formula. It never flakes throughout the day. I never have issues with it transferring. This is just such a beautiful product. So if you've not tried these out yet, Ulta carries them. I would highly recommend you check them out. And then I picked a liquid lipstick and a gloss. So for my liquid lipstick, I chose the NYX Liquid Suede in Soft Spoken. You guys, this is just like my perfect Your Lips But Better. Like, I have a backup and I love this color. This is just my holy grail shade. It looks so beautiful on my complexion. Just makes my lips look juicy and full because this pretty much is my lips but better, and I am obsessed. The formula is not the most long-wearing formula, but it is pretty dang good for the $6.99 that this costs, and I just love it. There's nothing about that I don't like. And after I purchased this one, which was the first one I purchased, I went and purchased, I think I have 6 shades now, 6 or 7 shades of this formula, because I just enjoy it. It's not super duper drying where it's uncomfortable, wears for a pretty fair amount of time, and it just, every single shade I've tried is beautiful. So if you've not checked these out yet, I would highly recommend checking them out. And then, of course, my favorite gloss of all time are the Buxom glosses in general. I think I have probably 25 of the minis. I just always buy them in the sets when they come out. But my favorite shade is Claire. This is currently the second tube of Claire that I am working on. It's just the perfect gloss shade. It's got little sparkles in it. It just makes your lips look super juicy, and this is my favorite lip combo of all time. So what I like to do is go in with this guy all over and then pretty much put Claire in just the center, and it just makes my lips look 5 times bigger than what they really are. And let's be honest, girls, you know, we fake it till we make it, and I don't have the biggest, juiciest lips of all time, but when I put these two together, yes, girl, my lips look big and juicy and full. So that's it, you guys. Those are the products that I would instantly, immediately repurchase if my makeup collection disappeared. I hope you found this fun. I found it to be very fun. The concept, I enjoy watching other videos like this. So I don't know who started this. There's so many of these videos out now, I couldn't even begin to tell you. If you know who created this, make sure you list them down below in the comments, because I genuinely have no idea. But yeah, what products could you not live without? And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay well until then. Bye.